Well, Budmo, as you might be aware by now, is the online expert in terms of spare parts. If you want a spare part for your vehicle, they have it in their list. They have the most extensive spare parts catalog, right from the most affordable small car to the top of the line luxury car, you name the car, and they have the spare parts for it. And the best point is that they have the spare parts from a host of different component makers and different price segments for the same spare part. So if you want to buy a cheaper part from a different maker or a more expensive part from a different component maker, they have the option for you. So budmo.com is the name of the website. You can check them out on your iOS as well as Android devices as well. Well, so the Kia Sonet is the freshest car of this lot, and it shows inside the cabin. It feels very plush, very modern, very upmarket, and of course you get the best in terms of the gauges over here. You get the best in terms of the touchscreen. It's a 10-inch touchscreen. The gauges are digital. You get cool front seats, driving modes, traction modes, big sunroof, and of course wireless charging for your mobile phone is there, automatic headlamps, cruise control, so the works really. And in terms of the plastic quality, in terms of the ambience, and in terms of the luxury factor, definitely this car holds the advantage over both its other rivals. I think that the cabin, the front end of the cabin, is the best out of all these three. Well, so the oldest car of this lot is the Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza, and once you enter the cabin, you will realize that yes, it is now starting to feel a little old because it has been around for almost 5 years now, and it does seem a little outdated in terms of design. What's also lacking is the overall features list. It doesn't have the same kind of features list that those two cars have. But that said, in terms of the seat comfort really is very good and ahead of both its main rivals. And also, this cabin doesn't feel as claustrophobic as the other two cars. It feels very open, and it does have a sense of airiness about itself. How has Maruti managed that? Well, I don't know, but it does feel nice and good in terms of the overall airiness. And the plastic quality also is quite good and at par with its other rivals. Where it of course is slightly behind, as I just said, is in looks as well as the overall features list. But even the base version of this car, the LXI version, comes with all the basics. You get airbags, ABS, as well as power steering and air conditioner, and the basic stuff is all available, so that offers decent value. The Hyundai Venue has been around for about a year and a half now, and even then it looks very fresh and modern. Now this is the second car which was launched. The Brezza is the oldest car here, and this one is the one which came after that, but even then it's a nice and fresh looking car. The cabin quality is right up there with the Sonet, which is now the class leader, so this one also is very good. In terms of features, you get all the bells and whistles. You do get all those luxury features. You get automatic headlamps, you get traction control, you of course get wireless charging for a mobile phone, you get the Blue Link app, which makes it a connected car. You get this button over here for the SOS function, which means that God forbid you ever caught up in an accident, you can press this button and the services, emergency services, will come and take care of you. In terms of overall practicality, all these cars are nearly the same. In terms of seat comfort also, this is a good car. Now in terms of features, couple of features are missing which you get on the Sonet, like cool front seats and of course the AQI meter enabled air purifier, but this one also has an air purifier in itself. It doesn't have an AQI meter, but even then this one gets an air purifier. So really it's only a couple of features which are missing on this car compared to the Sonet. Which one has the advantage? You let me know in the comment section below. We'll get to all those things when we tabulate all these things in the score sheet at the end of the review. Now let's jump in the back seat and see which one offers you how much space. Well, so if you want a car to be chauffeur driven all day long, you just want to sit in the back seat, you don't want to do anything else, then unfortunately the Sonet isn't the car for you. You'll have to look at the Brezza for that, because the Brezza offers you the best space. This one, well, knee room is a little tight. Headroom is good, but knee room is a little tight. And my height for reference is 5'10". So if you're about 5'10", your chauffeur is also 5'10", then for knee room at the back, it'll just be decent. You of course get your own AC vents, you get a USB charging point, you get a place to keep your cell phone, and also an air purifier as well as an AQI meter in it. But yes, as I just said, for sheer space in the back, the Brezza is the best of the lot. Well, so talking about the backseat experience, this car might be old and outdated on the inside, but when it comes to space and comfort in the back, the Brezza really is the king of the segment. It really offers you the best in terms of knee room, very good headroom, and the seat comfort also, and the backrest angle also is very good, and the best really amongst all these three cars. Excellent support for your under thighs, excellent support for your lower back, the backrest angle is spot on, and the best part is that you get large windows over here. You get a quarter glass window which makes the cabin feel nice and bright and airy. So yes, if you are in the market for a chauffeur driven compact SUV and you really want to choose between these three cars, then the Brezza is the best. You don't get AC vents at the back, but apart from that, this car really, as I just said, is best in terms of comfort as well as space. Well, so I'm in the second row now of the Hyundai Venue. Now, this car isn't as generous as the Vitara Brezza in terms of space, and it's at par with the Sonet in terms of sheer legroom. As you can see, on the plus side you get your own AC vents, and you also get a 12-volt charging point, and the floorboard also is almost flat. There's a bit of hump, but it's not too much, so whoever's sitting here will have decent place to stretch his feet. Now, this of course is the SX optional version of the car, which means that you get an armrest at the back and a couple of beverage holders as well. Now, in isolation, these seats are quite decent for space, and the seats themselves are very comfortable. Cushioning is really very good. The backrest angle is definitely better than the one on the Sonet, and the knee and hip angle also is quite good. So if you're looking at comparing this one and the Sonet for sheer comfort in the back, then I reckon that this car has a slight advantage over the Sonet. But yes, in terms of having a car just for sitting in the back, the Vitara Brezza is the winner of the backseat comparison. If you want a chauffeur driven car, the Brezza is the choice for you. Well, so the reason why the Sonet doesn't have the same kind of space in the back seat like the Brezza is because it offers you the biggest boot in this segment, and Kia has carved out more space in the boot, and that's the reason why the space in the back isn't the generous. So you get a 390-litre boot, which is the best in the business. There's a bit of a loading sill, but you can easily forgive it because this one is more capable than its other rivals. The best car to pick up your mother-in-law from the airport. Well, so here I am driving the Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza now. Now, this is the oldest car of the lot, but this car now has the newest engine of the lot, because this one has a 1.5 petrol. The earlier car had a 1.3 diesel. The diesel is out, as you all know, and there's only a petrol. It makes 104 bhp. So in terms of power, it's slightly underpowered compared to those two cars which offer you 120 bhp engine. But in terms of performance, there's no letting down because it's a bigger engine. The capacity is more. It's a 1.5 litre engine, which makes it better in terms of overall flexibility. Yes, if you are someone who drives this car regularly on the highway, then you'll appreciate the rev-happy nature of this engine. And of course, performance-wise also, Maruti has done a good job with the tuning of this K-Series engine. Refinement levels are absolutely first-rate and definitely ahead of every other rival in this segment. It's the best engine in terms of refinement in the petrol segment in compact SUVs. And you can choose a 5-speed manual gearbox, or you can choose a 6-speed automatic. Well, no, I'm just joking. There's only a 4-speed automatic available. And yes, the 4-speed automatic does seem like a retrograde step right now, especially when you consider its rivals offer you 7-speed dual clutch gearboxes. So yes, in that sense, you might feel that what is Maruti up to. But to be honest, the 4-speed gearbox is quite good for driving in the city. If you are someone who drives only in the city, then it's a decent gearbox. You'll never really be found wanting for an extra gear. It's only when you really step out on the highway that you exceed a speed limit of maybe, let's say, 90 or 100 kph, then you will say, well, where's that extra gear? Because the engines, then the revs start mounting on the engine. And the extra capacity, the 1.5 litre engine, means that the flexibility of the engine is quite good, because when you rev it up, it doesn't feel stressed, it doesn't feel strained compared to engines with smaller capacities. And all other cars in this segment either offer you a 1.2 or 1 litre turbocharged engine, but this is the only one which offers you such a big unit. So that's something which you need to keep in mind when you, of course, make a buying decision, because a 1.5 will always give you better overall flexibility and better refinement, because the engine will feel less strained. Now, the Hyundai Venue shares its engine and gearbox options along with the Kia Sonet. It offers you the same engine and gearbox options. There's only one option which is missing on this car, and that's, of course, a diesel automatic, which the Sonet offers as an advantage. Other than that, you get the same kind of option of this car as well. Now, none of these cars can be truly called a true blue driver's car in this segment, but this one is a nice car to drive. It's an easygoing car. It's got a very easygoing nature. All the controls are light on the manual. If you decide to use the manual gearbox, it's light and accurate. The clutch is light, no matter which engine you choose. The steering wheel also is ultra light, so you don't have to put in too much effort to use it. And what I'm trying to say is that all this, along with the soft suspension setup, means that if you're someone who drives this car on a regular basis yourself, then this car will not tire you out in the least. This is a car which will definitely keep a smile on your face. You will not feel tired, and you will enjoy sitting inside it and using it, because it is an easygoing car and it has a very easygoing nature. So in all those things, the Hyundai Venue has its own set of advantages. What you'll also like about it is the visibility, because you can easily see the bonnet line all across. So if you're a first-time driver, you'll like it. And of course, rear visibility also is very good on this car. So as I just said, overall, the Hyundai Venue offers you the best of everything: good refinement across engines, good ride comfort, and definitely a nice and easygoing personality, which means that it's a car which people who drive themselves will truly enjoy using. Well, in terms of driving pleasure, there are no two ways about it that the overall agility, the handling prowess, as well as the steering wheel feedback of the Sonet is slightly better than it is on the Brezza. But the downside of that is that the suspension setup is slightly on the firmer side. So if you're driving this car in city traffic and maybe you have to negotiate those badly made rumble strips or those badly patched up roads, then some of those bumps and potholes can filter into the cabin. So that's something which can be a little troublesome, and it's not a deal breaker, but yes, sometimes it can just feel a little bounce inside the cabin. So that's something which is there with the Sonet. So yes, ride comfort wise, that's something which is there. The stiff suspension doesn't really help ride comfort in that sense. What you will like though about this car is its high speed stability. This high speed stability really is very good, and the steering wheel also offers you very good communication. I think it's the best steering wheel of this lot in terms of high speed stability and communication. What you can also do, of course, is choose between the various traction and drive modes, and of course you can choose the sport mode if you want the engine and the gearbox to be a little more aggressive, a little more alert, and just deliver better performance. This is something which those two cars don't offer, so that's an additional bonus on this car and makes you feel like you are driving an enthusiastic car, and it is a better car in terms of driving pleasure than both the other rivals. What you'll also like about this car is, of course, the 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox. You can choose a manual as well, but of course that is the one to go for because it really does take the hassle out of driving in the city. And on the highway, the 7-speed gearbox means that flexibility of the engine is greatly enhanced. It feels like a very flexible motor and just puts a smile on your face, and it's an enjoyable car to drive really, and I reckon that of this lot, this is the best driver's car.